The African savanna provides a massive amount of primary production: grasses, herbs, and trees. Consequently, a high diversity of grazers and browsers have evolved here, including one of the largest, the kudu. The number of antelope species is amazing and ranges from the tiny dik-dik to the enormous eland, and each has its own ecological niche. Some are nearly solitary, and others form large herds like this impala. All of them are potential prey for the famous predators of the African savanna. The apex predator here is the mighty lion. Now, what happens after a predator kills its prey and eats its fill? The lions go to sleep, but what happens to all those dead bodies out on the savanna? Well, let's start with the kill. Lions live in family groups called prides of about 15 individuals. That many carnivores need a lot of meat. Lions rest during the day, and they usually hunt at night. Their night vision is 6 times that of a human. The female lion does most of the killing. While the prey is shared by the whole pride, males are more aggressive and eat more than their fair share. The lion's sharp canines are used to grasp prey, and their equally sharp teeth in the back of the mouth are used to cut large chunks of meat from the body. Small incisors function to tear small pieces of meat from the bone. Something is brewing above. Lions feed every 2 to 3 days, depending on prey density. Adults can gorge themselves on up to 40 kilos of meat at a sitting. That's the mega paleo diet. Lions are efficient predators and will usually consume most of the edible parts of its prey, especially the nutritious parts. But there are always leftovers. And what's going to happen to this carcass? Who's going to clean up this mess? Well, the vultures may be the first to see the carcass. It's the flies that get there shortly after the kill. Vultures play a vital role in cleaning up the savanna. They have specialized bills and strong digestive systems to consume carcasses efficiently. Vultures can strip a 45-kilo carcass in about 3 minutes. They have to act fast because there are other contenders out there. Although a major scavenger, hyenas actually kill 90% of their meat intake. Spotted hyenas have powerful jaws and digestive systems that allow them to consume virtually all parts of an animal, including bones, skin, and hair. Here, a black-backed jackal looks for an opportunity to grab a quick bite. Lions will abandon a kill if fighting off the hyenas isn't worth what's left of the kill. Hyena feces are white due to the high calcium content from the bones they consume. Now that's a frustrated jackal. Jackals are not solely scavengers. They also actively hunt small to medium-sized animals like reptiles, birds, and mammals. Cheetahs are not fans of the paparazzi. While it is a lot of morbid fun to watch vertebrate scavengers devour a carcass, much of the work is done by much smaller animals, such as houseflies and black scavenger flies, and of course your favorite from police movies, blowflies. Flesh flies have to eat and reproduce too. Another group of insects that does a lot of the consumption are carrion beetles, like the African four-spotted carrion beetle. And even dung beetles need a little change from eating dung sandwiches all the time and will grab some protein. Vultures can cover hundreds of kilometers in a single day as they look for some good carrion. Now, just who makes up this cleaning crew of vultures? There are 11 species of vultures in Africa. Many of them are facing extinction, with some that have lost 90% of their population. Now, one that is still doing fairly well is the hooded vulture. This smaller vulture gets bumped to the back of the line, but it uses its fine bill to pick meat from between the bones after the big boys have left. And speaking of the big boys, the lappet-faced vulture is massive and very aggressive at kills. The white-headed vulture often is the first to arrive at a carcass, but it also kills small mammals, birds, and reptiles. It's always good to have a plan B. Another species that is quick to get to the free food is the bataleur. Besides eating carrion, this eagle hunts small animals. The white-backed vulture is Africa's most common vulture, but it is declining rapidly as it is highly susceptible to poisoning. Vultures eat carrion, that is dead animals, but they do not eat rotten or putrid meat. So by the fourth day, a carcass is way too gross for a vulture to eat. Vultures have strong stomach acids that help digest and kill bacteria and toxins in the carcass. Vultures lack feathers on their heads to facilitate efficient cleaning and to avoid getting feathers dirtied with carrion. Also, their bare skin on their head and neck help regulate their body temperature. The sac on the vulture's chest is its crop, and it can cram 1 kilo of carrion into it. It's like a packed lunch, and then they can have a picnic while they watch the sunset with 2 Wahlberg eagles. Vultures use thermals to soar to extreme heights, and their excellent eyesight to find a carcass. The altitude record for a bird was actually a Ruppel's vulture that was sucked into a jet engine at 11,300 meters high. Vultures are incredibly important in keeping the African savanna free of disease and pathogens, but they have suffered astronomical declines in recent years. For example, India has suffered a dramatic 90% drop in vulture populations, from 50 million to near extinction. The decline is most attributable to diclofenac, an anti-inflammatory drug given to cattle, yes, the sacred cow, for pain and inflammations. When vultures scavenge on livestock carcasses, they develop kidney failure and die quickly. Other problems include vultures used as food and in traditional African medicine. One of the main causes of vulture deaths is connected to another conservation problem. Poachers of elephant ivory and rhinoceros horns will poison the carcass so as to not attract vultures, which would alert the rangers of poachers in the area. In Kruger National Park alone, 750 vultures from 5 threatened species were killed due to poisonings since 2019. Vultures all too regularly crash and burn into power lines. Of course, it always has to be mentioned that the loss of habitat is a major cause of wildlife declines. The marabou stork, the grim reaper of birds, is a major player in the scavenger game on the African plains. Like vultures, it soars high looking for kills and carcasses. And like vultures, it has bare skin on its head and neck to stay clean. The pied crow is a well-known omnivore and scavenger, and is often seen feeding on roadkill. Leopards reduce the hassle of constantly driving off freeloaders by taking their prey into a tree. And after feasting, it's a great place for a nap. African wild dogs primarily eat fresh meat, with carrion being a secondary food source when it's available. They are opportunistic feeders, meaning they will consume whatever is easiest to obtain, and carrion can be a significant food source when hunting is difficult or less successful. But of course, you have to get rid of the hyenas first. Wild animals don't live very long in the wild. Even a giraffe lives maybe 25 years, and then will succumb to drought, disease, or predation. No matter how big or beautiful the beast, scavengers don't care. Their mission is to get the meat. Not every carcass is discovered by vertebrate scavengers. In fact, at least 10% of all kills were consumed by invertebrates. Yes, that's right. Those flies laid eggs, and it's their maggots that consume the rest. Credit where credit is due. And there you have it, a clean African savanna.